Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I will be taking you along with us as we are going to be harvesting our autumn garden and also generally clearing up all the old debris in the garden. We will be harvesting Paw Paw. Then we will also be harvesting the other vegetables like some patty pan, then sweet potatoes. This will be the major harvest, and the remaining is just whatever is left over in the garden. First, we will be harvesting the sweet potatoes. We planted the sweet potatoes next to the greenhouse. But as you know from my previous videos that we have this mice which has really taken over quite a lot of places in our garden. We have started to use some mice repellents. These are these ultrasonic ones, and that is what you'll be hearing in the background. They are solar operated, and we installed a few of them in our garden in different places. I don't know if it is working, but it is quite late in the season. I hope it is better next year. My neighbor was mentioning that he saw the mice running across the street to the other farm. So I think it's probably working, but it's a little bit too late maybe. You will see that some of them have big holes, but it's not too bad. We have a few, and we are also having a couple of them with the sprouts that we are planting inside the house, and we will replant it next year in spring. After harvesting the sweet potatoes, it is good to keep them at room temperature for about 3 weeks before storing them in a cool and dark place. We did that, and we have stored some of them in our cellar. And as you can see, a couple of them have quite big holes, and they seem to have attacked only the bigger ones. The smaller ones, they left it for us.
I see one.
We just follow the tunnel, and then you can see that's exactly where they have been eating up all the sweet potatoes. By storing them in the cellar after 3 weeks of room temperature, they actually get sweeter. It's also thickening the skin, and that way you can store them for much longer. I usually store sweet potatoes for up to 3 to 4 months. And see here, this is how many of them look like. Of course, I didn't film all of it. In our greenhouse, all of these plants are already at the end of their life cycle. Although it was surprising, we did get a little bit more of these eggplants at a later date. I recorded this video sometime in the beginning of October, but as you know, I had some festivities, and so that prevented me from editing the video. Here we have planted chickpeas. It's not a big yield, just a little bit, but this is mainly to improve the soil because it has a lot of nitrogen. And next year we will be planting something else. But we have collected the seeds for next year's planting. During the cooler months, we are dropping the compost right in the garden patches. This is to avoid the mice multiplying even more. We don't want to collect it in a compost bin because then we are attracting more of the mice. Now we will harvest 1 or 2 celeries and a couple of leeks. This one here is not edible. These are pretty wild flowers, and they come usually during autumn months.
okay, just a...
Moving on to the front yard, we will harvest some Brussels sprouts, then patty pan squash. I haven't recorded that, but you will see it at the end of this. And then we will be harvesting Paw Paw. We had a really good harvest of Paw Paw this year. These are broccoli flowers. Since we didn't harvest all of the broccoli, we let them for the bees. So they are really enjoying it. This was our harvest. Between September to October, we also had a lot of hazelnuts. My husband was collecting every day a handful of them, and then we have collected this much. We have been drying it at room temperature. Right now they are in the cellar. They have to be nicely air dried. This is our Paw Paw tree. One of them had bigger fruits, the other one is quite small, but this is the first year it's also started to produce, and we really had very good harvest, and I have made some Paw Paw jam which I will be sharing very soon. We have been eating them as soon as they ripen, but we were careful to not let a lot of them fall down because there were some animals which were coming and eating them. So every day we checked a couple of times during the day and picked them immediately. Now back to the greenhouse, we are going to harvest some of these chilies. This was the banana tree which we cut early spring, and here we have some Swiss chard. We are also clearing up all these overgrown weeds. And since tomatoes will not be ripening anymore, we decided to harvest all of it and clear up the plant. And I have made some tomato salad and canned them. I will link that recipe below in the description box or add it in the cards, and it's also in the blog. With this, I end my video. Thank you for joining us on a virtual tour of our garden and a virtual harvest. We have not been so often in the garden since the temperatures have dropped quite a bit. See you in my next video. Bye bye.